Movie Memories, brought to you by dantheartman.com. Episode 3, Stalling for Time While Submissions Come In. Hey everybody, this is Dan, and I didn't plan this very well. I have a lot of people writing guest blog posts, but what I should have done and what I will do next time is wait until I get all of them in and then start rolling them out. So I just thought I would share another movie memory with you guys off the cuff. This will be kind of a special little episode, a little different, not me reading anything, just remembering. When I was in college, Lord of the Rings 2, Two Towers, was coming out, and I really had liked the first movie. I actually had read The Hobbit before in 8th grade, but I never read The Lord of the Rings until when I heard that the first movie was coming out. So I read the first book, The Fellowship of the Ring, and when I saw the first movie, I loved it, but some of the things were a little disappointing because they were different than the book. You know, like Tom Bombadil. I thought that was a really cool part in the book. And that wasn't in the movie, but, you know, they had to cut it down and do what they had to. I think they did a great job. And I love the Fellowship of the Ring is my favorite of the three movies, which is probably not the favorite for most people, but I don't know. I just love seeing it start out in that peaceful Shire and seeing what they have to fight for. I kind of tend to always like the first in a series of books. I like Quarter Share by Nathan Lowell. He has 6 books in this Trader's Tales series, and I like the first one the best. I don't know. I like origin stories and seeing how things start out. And so anyways, I was really psyched about The Two Towers, and I had actually read about half of The Two Towers, the novel, but I stopped reading it so I could just enjoy the movie for what it was, and then enjoy the third movie for what it was, and then I finished reading the Lord of the Rings trilogy after seeing all 3 movies. But I just had assumed, since even though I was really excited about it, I'd waited too long to try and get tickets to go see The Two Towers on opening night. So I was hanging out with a bunch of housemates, and all of a sudden I just went online and looked, and sure enough, all the local theaters were sold out. But if we went for a 20-minute drive to a little town, just a little ways out of Seattle, I don't remember the name of the town, but this was a podunk theater, we could see the movie. So, I don't know, a handful of us went. I got all excited, and I brought a bunch of people with me, and we all went to see The Two Towers in this tiny little theater, opening night. I remember going to it, telling everyone, like, yeah, there's a 34-minute fight scene or something. Like, I knew the exact amount of time that the fight scenes were in the movie, and I was all excited for all the cool fighting that I was going to get to see. And I remember during some of the war scenes, the big subwoofers that they had at this cheap theater were kind of like basing out, distorting a little bit, which didn't really add to the movie, but it was kind of funny, and it's kind of a fun memory. You know, sitting around, kind of like I think it was like a Friday afternoon or something. So we all decided to go that night to see The Two Towers. Just a bunch of guys loading up like a tailgate party almost to see The Two Towers. And I don't think many of them were as big of nerds as I am. So, you know, they wanted to see it. They thought the first movie was cool. So we went and saw that in that tiny little theater. And there were actually some seats open in that theater. Because, you know, in Seattle's where I went to college. It's a big movie town. Most theaters are pretty full, and there's a lot of movie theaters there. A lot of cool small ones. So that was really fun. I'll just share one more memory with you. One time, I took a film class, and one of the teacher's favorite films was Donnie Darko. If you haven't seen this film, it's very strange. And so I saw it. I thought it was pretty cool. I watched it a few times. After watching the movie, you're left thinking about it a lot. And it has a really cool website that's kind of seems secretive, like you can discover secrets about the movie, and it's just a really cool movie with lots of weird stuff. So anyway, I heard that the director's cut was coming out, and I wanted to go see it, but I couldn't find anyone to go with me. So I went all by myself to a midnight showing of Donnie Darko, the director's cut, at this theater called the Neptune. Donnie Darko isn't really a terrifying movie, but it's kind of creepy. It has its creepy moments. Fred the Bunny, if any of you have seen the movie, you know what I mean. The first time you saw Fred the Bunny, you're like, this is creepy. So if I'll put a picture of it in the blog post, then you'll see exactly how creepy Fred the Bunny is. But I have to say it was definitely a memorable experience. You know, I'm driving, it's midnight, going alone, a bunch of other strangers, going to this big theater called the Neptune. It's an old theater in Seattle. And on the walls of the Neptune, there are, I don't think they would be called gargoyles. They're like statues from the waist up, I believe, of the King of the Sea holding a trident. So there's these things hanging from the walls. It's old. I was sitting up in the front row of the balcony so I could put my feet up, just with a theater full of strangers watching this creepy movie at midnight, the director's cut, because I wanted to see what the differences would be. Because Donnie Darko is one of those movies that, you know, it really seems like every single frame was a distinct, has a distinct reason to be there, and that's one of the reasons my teacher liked it. She said that every second of that movie is there for a reason. So the director's cut was bound to be very interesting. And I left actually understanding a little bit more about some of the strange things in the movie, knowing a bit more about the story world of Donnie Darko. And I will say, if you want to watch that movie, there's a lot of language, but not much else than that except just creepy stuff. A little bit of violence, but it's a good one. So if you're okay with some coarse language, I recommend it. And if you liked it, you know, check it out compared to the director's cut. I would say watch the director's cut second. So anyways, those are two of my fond memories from my college days. Just when I was a single dude, I watched movies all the time. Now I've got a bunch of kids running around, 4 years old and under, so pretty busy, but you know, we get to go see fun stuff like in Jeff's post, we took all of our kids to see the new Pixar movie, Brave, and that was an excellent movie. It was really good, so if you haven't checked out Brave, you should check that out as well. Thank you guys for stopping by the blog or listening to the podcast. You can find the blog post that goes with this podcast episode over at dantheartman.com. This podcast is licensed under a non-commercial, no derivatives 3.0 international license. Sound effects used for the intro and outro are from the Free Sound Project over at freesound.org. So like I said, there are a ton of people writing guest blog posts to share their movie memories with us, and I'm sure that they will be rolling in soon. Until then, look for an audio version of my latest short story, Stuffed Monster, which you can go download for free at smashwords.com in all of the ebook formats you could ever want. So look for that to hit this podcast feed very soon, sometime next week. And come back again next Friday for an awesome movie memory from someone else. I'm excited. I always love it when they come in, and reading them is really fun. So thanks for letting me share some of my movie memories with you guys, and I look forward to all of yours. So write on in, and until next time, see you at the movies.